छोड़ के तेरा द्वार दाता और कहीं ना जाऊं, हे पावन परमेश्वर मेरे मन ही मन शरमाऊं। छोड़ के तेरा द्वार दाता और कहीं ना जाऊं, हे पावन परमेश्वर मेरी मन ही मन शरमाऊं। छोड़ के तेरा द्वार दाता और कहीं ना जाऊं, हे पावन परमेश्वर मेरे मन ही मन शरमाऊं। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Jai. How are you?
Fine, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So today we are very fortunate and blessed to have association of His Grace Madhusevita Prabhu. I would like to give a brief introduction about Prabhuji. Prabhu joined ISKCON in Kathmandu, Nepal in 1973 and got initiated by Srila Prabhupada in 1974. And from 1974 to 77 served as the temple commander in Sridham Mayapur, during which His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj joined ISKCON, and Prabhu continued to serve as the vice president in ISKCON Kolkata from 77 to 81, and twice served as a GBC chairman in 1977, 78, and 2010 and 11. And Prabhuji is an occasional musician, guitar and vocals. He is known to serve his guests with incomparable hospitality and warmth. So today we are very fortunate to have Prabhu's association, and we are going to hear various pastimes from Srila Prabhupada life, and a lot of interactions with His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. Like we all would have read the offering by Prabhu, which was very heart touching. So we welcome Prabhu for today's session for remembering His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. We welcome Prabhu by loudly chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Hare Krishna. So, what can I say? I haven't prepared any discourse or any presentation. All I can say is that I think of Bhakti Charu Maharaj every day. Every day he comes back to my mind, even though, you know, it's a busy life, so many things to do, so many services Krishna has given, responsibilities, disciples, everything. But he comes into my mind every day. And I miss him like anything. Somebody is writing here, Hindi, I'm sorry, Hindi, Janta, I don't know Hindi. Alpo kichu Bangla jani, I know a little bit of Bengali. I'm sorry, I already forgot because I left Bengal 40 years ago. So I'm sorry, I'll have to speak English. So as I was saying, I think of Maharaj every day. I thought that with the passing of time, I would sort of, you know, like many things are not forgotten, but, you know, they take a place in your memory, and they are there without invading your consciousness, your mind. But the relationship, and I'm not trying to look better than others, or, you know, Maharaj had wonderful relationship with many brothers, with many God brothers. But he told me that his relationship with me, our relationship, was very, very, very special. When I, you know, of course, as you know, it started in a bit of a rough way when I was the temple commander. Under the instructions of my authority, I had to grill everyone. Everyone had to work like anything till they almost fainted in Mayapur. We were a few devotees and so much to do. So Bhakti Charu Maharaj, at the time Bhakta Kishore, was one of my victims. I would go and say, stop reading. Come on, there is a lot to do. You know, why don't you get something practical done? I was trained like this. It was not only on him, but anybody and anybody. So the first approach was like this. And but then in the core of my heart, I always felt that this person is special. It looks like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati so much. I was thinking like this as a young devotee. I was thinking, wow, it looks really like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami. So I was feeling a little shy in getting on his case many times. I felt, whoa, maybe I hope I'm not doing something wrong. But again, my authorities were pushing the Jayapataka and Bhavananda and Swamis and Shatadan, you know, everyone, come on, you know, get everyone to work, you know. Some messages arrived that my internet is weak. I don't know what to do. Is the best connection that I can get here in Italy. It's generally a good connection. I hope it's not too bad. I'm so sorry about it. So anyhow, these days in Mayapur went through, and Maharaj immediately, you know, became a sannyasi almost immediately, and that shocked everyone. And Prabhupada had never done anything like that. So when he came back, we all thought, no, now he's going to look down at us. You know, now he's a sannyasi. We are just commune brahmacharis. He's really going to look from outside down, you know, at us. And we're going to be feeling like, you know, useless, ordinary, you know, devotees. Never, nothing of that kind. Actually, when he took sannyas, he became even sweeter. He became even friendlier. He was, you know, it just like, he was like a heart with two legs and two hands. Maharaj was like this. And we never felt, you know, somehow rather diminished or discriminated or in any way looked down by him, but we always felt a brotherly, sweet, deep affection. In particularly, after Mayapur, we spent 4 hours in Calcutta together. He always remembered those days, and he always reminded me, you remember in Calcutta together? And he was translating in Wood Street. There is a street called Wood Street in Calcutta. There was a BBT apartment. He was there. And I was, you know, the vice president, the big vice president of the Calcutta temple. We were so proud, Adridharan and me. We were maintaining Mayapur. There were no tours at the time. Calcutta was maintaining Mayapur by our collection. And we were also maintaining, you know, BBT. You know, we were, you know, like the dynamo, the money dynamos, the one who were creating the wealth of the whole place, including Mayapur. So, but Bhakti Charu Maharaj was absorbed in his service. But even though he was absorbed in his service, he always had time to come and spend, you know, sweet moments together, and always caring. See, my liver after but it was difficult. What, you know, what it was, the no mineral water. We couldn't get mineral water in the temple at the time. You know, the finances wouldn't allow it. So we drank water from the tube well and, you know, from the tap sometimes. So my liver was really deteriorating. So immediately when Maharaj saw me, he said, I'll cook for you. I will cook. And he cooked every day for me. He would cook every day. Every day I would go to Wood Street and he would prepare Monk's Delight with that, rice, with the potatoes and the spinach, a little bit of butter and nutmeg. And I mean, he fed me practically for months and months and months together. He would cook for me every day. I don't know if I ever met such a sweet brother, loving brother like him. I have many friends also, but he was special. He's always been special in my heart, and was always special in his heart, because when I left India and I came to Italy, and I took over a temple in the North Italy. Immediately, he collected the money to come and see me. He was a poor sannyasi at the time. He didn't have money. And, the big gurus were there, the big acharyas. And, you wouldn't, even though you were a sannyasi or you couldn't get money easily, no disciples, no donations. But he collected the money somehow or other. I think I helped a little bit. And then he came immediately in 1981. He came to see me immediately. He came to see me and we embraced. He came to the temple. It was called Galarate there. We embraced. And the first thing he said, can I cook for you? That's the first thing he said, can I cook for you? And immediately went to the kitchen and cooked, because he knew I was missing his cooking. And then every year he was coming and staying with me. We did the first Nirjala together, so many things. And he always came, and our relationship was so deep. We talked about everything. Whether I had a problem or he had a problem, we talked about it together. I mean, dadati pratigrinnati guyamakkati parichati bhuntam bunjayate chaivam sadvidam pritilakshanam. These are the 6 loving symptoms. I can say that within this movement, amongst my brothers, the devotee, the brother with whom I had the most loving exchanges, the deepest loving exchanges, was Bhakti Charu Maharaj. And I, at every stage, at every step, we discussed the future of the movement. What was his feeling? What were my feelings? Together, always in a very deep way. I cannot say, of course, well, secret. And then, and we exchange gifts, and not only gifts, we open our hearts to each other, but the biggest thing, we cook for each other. He cooked for me a lot, but I also cooked for him. And, when he used to come, he used to be proud, saying, look, Madhu, I make the best pizza in the world. I said, come on, you're from Bengal. How can you make the best pizza in the world? That's not bona fide, But, he said, I have a special recipe, and he had this recipe of a pizza with provolone cheese, which is a very, heavy cheese, and he would put a big layer of provolone cheese on the pizza. And I said, Maharaj, this can kill a rhinoceros, but it was so tasty that I had to admit that it was delicious. But then I retaliated and I cooked lasagna for him. And he had to admit that I make the best lasagnas in the world. He had to admit that. And he used to come to my house, and I was cooking lasagna for him. But that was a tiny, a tiny offer to him. All the cooking that he had done for me, I mean, was like an ocean, and mine was like, a teacup compared to the ocean of cooking that he had done. But we enjoyed together taking prasadam a lot. One thing that made us similar is that we put a lot of salt on everything. Not long ago, my wife had cooked something. Ali Krishna Devidasi, she is the first Italian devotee. She joined in 72. And she, she is not an excellent cook, but she is a good cook. She cooks. Okay, so she cooks something. And then Bhakti Charu Maharaj and myself, we said, wow, it's without salt. So we put, we start putting salt. I mean, a lot of salt. So Ali Krishna was terrified. She said, what are you doing? It's like, you're gonna die if you put all this salt. You're exaggerating, she was saying to us. And Bhakti Charu Maharaj told her, I'd rather die than eat without salt. So, and we continue putting salt on it. So, for me, it was, Maharaj and me were family. Like it's true. The ISKCON is a big family. We should think like this, but we should not also be artificial. I didn't feel family, such an intimate family relationship with every one of my god brothers. And even those I have a good relationship with Maharaj, Bhakti Charu Maharaj, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, and even, Bhavanand, it's like a close family. It's the original Mayapur family. And it's there. It cannot be taken away cannot be taken away by time. It cannot be taken away by apparent death. It cannot be taken away. It's something so deep. It's a tide. It's such a deep tie in the heart. It cannot be taken away. And even though things have happened, and as I wrote in my outburst when after I heard that he had left this world, I was really angry at him, because he was, Maharaj would call me every other day. I'm not exaggerating. Every other day, Bhakti Charu Maharaj would call me. Sometimes even in the middle of the night when I was sleeping. I woke up and said, who is that? I said, oh, Madhu, I forgot that it's 1 o'clock at night for you. Oh, said, Maharaj, come on. So, said like this. So he would call me every other day. So when he called me from Orlando in Florida, I said, where are you calling me from? He said, I'm calling you from Orlando. From Orlando? I said, the other day you were in Ujjain. So why are you calling me from Orlando? And he said, well, I decided to leave. I said, oh, you have to be careful. I said, why don't you tell me? I would have said, don't leave, and now how are you? And he said, well, I got a little fever, but it's jet lag. I said, get checked right now, No, but it's already a few days. I said, get checked right now. That's why I was angry at him. I was very angry. So why you do that, that we are so attached to you. Why what are you doing? You're trying to increase our attachment in this way and make us like, but then I hadn't seen that video where he says, I want to go and preach, and anyhow, he had taken the decision. Then he went to Orlando, and you will know what happened afterwards. But it's again, the relationship is such a deep one that I even if I want to avoid thinking of him, I can't. Every day I think of him because I'm, sometimes I wake up and say, well, I expect a phone call because he was special in calling me at night. And he had this special forgetfulness and was calling me at night. And I think this is, again, this is the greatest wealth when we are attached to loving devotees like him. There is no wealth superior to this. I value this attachment to the attachment to Srila Prabhupada, my spiritual master, and to his loving sons, my brothers, and to his loving grandsons. I value this attachment as the most precious thing I have in my life. And I really hope that this attachment will stay, then that I don't become senile and stupid or confused or forgetful. I want to remember, and I want to cultivate this attachment in my heart till the last moment of my life, till my last breath. Because this attachment is the rope that will take me back to Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet and to Krishna's lotus feet. So let's not forget, Maya is very strong, and one of the weapons is out of sight, out of mind. That's one of the weapons that Maya has. That when one doesn't see, the memory fades away, and one, it becomes a faraway remembrance or something. Let this not happen. Let's cultivate this remembrance and attachment. This attachment goes to the spiritual world, straight to the spiritual world. Is not a sentiment or an emotion of this world. This attachment is devotional service. This attachment is pure devotional service. Is the essence of pure devotional service. This emotion created by the attachment, the longing for getting back the association, the hug of the devotee, the embrace, like that. There is nothing deeper than that. So let's, I will cultivate it. I want to go back. I want to go back home, back to Godhead. I want to discover what the spiritual world is. But it wouldn't be sufficient for me if I couldn't find, of course, Srila Prabhupada, that Bhakti Charu Maharaj, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, all these incredible devotees, brothers that are parts of Srila Prabhupada's heart. And actually, I don't want to go back to Godhead if I don't find them, because I would be missing. But I know that back to Godhead means to go back with them and find them there. So, in particular, Bhakti Charu Maharaj was my best friend. I'm sure many devotees told you that, and they felt like that. I do think, without pride, I hope without, there is no pride in what I'm saying, that he felt that I also was his best friend. He told me, and so when he became chairman again, the first thing he said, "You have to become my vice chairman." I said, "Come on, I've already been chairman twice of the GBC. I'm getting old. I'm tired. I mean, nobody has done it thrice. The third time," he said, "No, you do it for me." Even though I had taken some kind of vow not to go in the executive committee again, I did it because he asked me. He knew he could ask anything from me. He knew it. Anything he would ask, I would do. He knew that. So he didn't hesitate. And like this. And he was a wonderful chairman. He was a wonderful chairman. I had some hesitation. I said, "Maharaj, it's so sweet, to be the chairman of the GBC, how is he gonna hold the pressure?" And but he did it. He did it wonderfully, and in a very expert way. So what else can I say? I miss him. I miss taking the ice cream together, taking the lasagna together, laughing together, getting on someone's case together. we would get on someone's case together, really heavy sometimes. I can say, of course, I'm not going to give details, but sometimes we have very strong opinions, and we really saw eye to eye. We were the ones who started there were 6 divisions that the GBC body created in Italy in 2006, 6 topics, and one was Srila Prabhupada's position. Bhakti Charu Maharaj and myself started that, and then others were added later. We were, adamant. I don't want to say fanatic, because we weren't fanatic. We were determined, like anything. And I want to underscore it again, determined to push Srila Prabhupada's position as the founder Acharya of this movement. So this booklet that Rabindrasvara Prabhu wrote, this was the brainchild of Bhakti Charu Maharaj and myself. Immediately we said we should write a book on Prabhupada's position. We did it. We pushed it. We pushed it in the committee. We said, there must be a book coming out. There must be a book coming out. And then later on, Rabindra's Swarup was added when we had the meeting in New Vrindavan. And then we asked him to write it. We checked it, everything. And everything that is contained in that book was coming from, the members of the committee. And I can say that Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he contributed enormously. The last thing that we were discussing before this whole thing happened is, I can tell you, it's not going to die here. It's not. I'm going to push it again and again till it happens. Once I had written in a Vyasa Puja to offer into Srila Prabhupada, I think in 2008 or 2012, I can't remember, because Bhakti Charu Maharaj was saying, we have to establish Prabhupada as a Sampradaya Acharya, which is, something that people, Sampradaya Acharya, like, that's, Brahma is the Sampradaya Acharya, or Madhva is the Sampradaya Acharya, etc. But the Sampradaya took a special turn. So I told Maharaj, look, here is the Vyasa Puja offering that I wrote. I don't remember when, 2008 or 2010. I can find it for you if you want to. And I had written Prabhupada is the Acharya of the Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, ISKCON Sampradaya. And Maharaj said, yes, Madhu, you hit the nail right on the head. He told me that. So that was our plan before he left, that we have to establish Prabhupada as the Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, ISKCON Sampradaya Acharya. That is the meaning of founder Acharya. We have to do that. And I'm appealing to all of you, disciples of Bhakti Charu Maharaj, that this is something that he will be so happy with, will satisfy his heart to an amount which is unimaginable. So let's work together. I will do it within the GBC body, but this nomenclature, this principle has to be established for all future generations. Because founder Acharya of ISKCON, yes, that's what Prabhupada is. But somebody in the future may say, okay, ISKCON is going here, ISKCON is going there, is another branch, let's call it ISKCOP or whatever it is, and there'll be another founder Acharya. But the Sampradaya comes down to ISKCON, and it should not move from ISKCON. And if Srila Prabhupada is established as the Acharya of the Sampradaya, Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, ISKCON Sampradaya, then this will stay for thousands of years. So it's something, I take it as a mission. We were discussing it together. We were fired up about this. And we will, because he is there to inspire us to continue. Maharaj is present to inspire us to continue. Of course, continue. We want to remember, do our sadhana, everything. But if we want a tangible result that will make him feel like there are, rivers of ecstasy flowing, if we establish Srila Prabhupada as a Sampradaya Acharya. Some may want to offer different philosophical opinions or whatever. We'll have to fight it. But it is something that, for the glorification of Srila Prabhupada is essential. So I have spoken a lot. Many of you may have fallen asleep, and my presentation was not very well articulated. I apologize for that. I try to speak from the heart, and what can I say? What can I say? I think of him every day, and I have to find some other devotee to whom I can confide in. The same way I would confide in him. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. And so, thank you very much for the opportunity. I don't know what else I could say. If there are any questions, I can try to answer, but I don't want to, I don't know how long this has to go on now. What is your expectation? And so I stop here. And if anything you want me to say or clarify, please feel free to ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Everybody relished your narration, your pastimes with Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. There are few questions by devotees. If we can take the questions, if you are
Yes.
yeah. So first question is, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. How we can develop a genuine loving relationships with fellow devotees? Sometimes we are so busy and our dealings are limited to services only.
Service is wonderful. Service is life. Well, just as an example, the relationship with Bhakti Charu Maharaj, of course, Bhuktam Bonjayate Chaivam, the prasadam exchange was there, but our relationship was on service. The deep, deep, deep relationship that we had was especially developed on the service of trying to establish Srila Prabhupada at the center of everyone's life in ISKCON. We did that in the 50-man committee, we did that in the GVC, we did that in our preaching. So it was service. So don't discount service. Don't think that service is something mechanical or external that one does, and the loving relationship is just when you embrace or when you chant together or when you read together. No, service is fundamental. If we don't serve together, the relationship remains superficial. Even if two persons go and chant Hare Krishna together in a bhajan kutir or whatever, whatever. But if they don't serve, then there is something missing. Just like there are rasas. The first rasa is dasya ras, and before that there is shantaras. Shantaras means that you contemplate and love, and there is love in contemplation. But service is missing. The activity is missing. Therefore, it is incomplete. Rupa Goswami doesn't consider it a rasa, a full rasa. Just like someone may love somebody, let's say a husband and a wife, a son and a mother, or, they love each other and contemplate, oh, mama, you're so beautiful, Mataji, like, mom, but if the son doesn't do anything to help, actively to help the mother, oh, you're cutting eggplant, okay, let me come there and help out because you are tired, you're sweating, like you can't make it anymore. So even the cutting of an eggplant, which is, probably the least emotional activity one can do, or a potato or something, if it's done as a service and to relieve the mother of fatigue, it's an act of love that goes beyond the contemplation and passive affection for one's mother. So don't discount service. You'll remember in the future, I don't know, Prabhu, I don't know who you are, but in the future, when you'll become old, like our bodies are becoming, like my body has become, what do you remember? Yes, you remember moments of affection, lasagna and everything, pizza with provolone, everything will be remembered. But the service, what we have done practically to please Prabhupada together, that's what we'll remember. That's what I remember with Bhakti Charu Maharaj. That's the biggest remembrance. That's a kind of remembrance that is not exactly a remembrance, it's a presence. That service is a presence. I can remember things in Calcutta, I can remember things this and there, but if I want to feel the presence, I have to engage in service. So Of course, not that you wash dishes 12 hours a day, 3 hours for chanting Mongol Arti and chanting your rounds, and then 1 hour for eating, and then you faint out of fatigue, you know, you don't have a chance even to, you know, to talk to somebody or to exchange feelings. No, I'm not saying that. But don't say that, you know, we are always engaged in service and there is no time for developing the relationship, because the relationship is within service, So that's my answer.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. There is another question. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for sharing your intimate moments with Gurudev. As disciples, how can we cultivate and deepen our attachment to Gurudev?
By satisfying his desire. Now, desire is not different from the liberated soul. The liberated soul is a form of pure desire, loving desire for Krishna. So you should, if you want to know your spiritual master, you should know his desire. If you don't know his desire, you don't know him really. But you know his desire. What is his desire? To see Srila Prabhupada satisfied. And how Srila Prabhupada can be satisfied? When Srila Prabhupada is kept in the center of the devotees' lives within this movement. Not because Prabhupada is an egocentric person, but Prabhupada is very well aware of the fact that this movement exists because of him. This movement exists because Krishna, out of affection for him, has said, okay, you create this ISKCON. And even though all these people that you're gonna fit within this movement are less than qualified, because of the love I feel for you, Krishna says to Prabhupada, because of the affection I have for you, I will consider all of them. I will take into account all of them. That's the reason. So Bhakti Charu Maharaj knows that if Prabhupada is kept in the center, if Prabhupada's consciousness is what prevails within ISKCON, then he is doing his service to his spiritual master, he is showing his love to his spiritual master. And if his disciples help him doing that, that's the way to please him and to deepen their relationship with him. You want to deepen your relationship with your spiritual master, with Bhakti Charu Maharaj? Try to establish Prabhupada at the center. Talk about Srila Prabhupada. Fight to establish Srila Prabhupada in the center of everyone's life. Try to do something that will keep Prabhupada for generations, not just for the next 5-10 years. After 10, 20 years, we'll all be gone. Devamrita Maharaj rightly said, this will be the decade of tears. We're all 70 years old. Not everyone gets to 80. So what to do? We'll have to go sooner or later. But if Prabhupada's position, and by position I mean that the affection, the taking shelter by the devotees goes towards Prabhupada, then if you help in that, you will not only get Prabhupada, but you'll get Bhakti Charu Maharaj as well. Because you'll do it out of the desire that he has infused in you to do it. So you will live with him together. You will join him. You will help him in serving Prabhupada. So that's the way you do it. You deepen your relationship with him by fulfilling his desire, by cultivating his desire. His desire is like a beautiful lotus flower. His desire to serve Prabhupada. It's like a beautiful lotus flower. You cultivate that beautiful lotus flower, and you'll feel the presence of Bhakti Charu Maharaj whenever you do that. And because he's there, he's one of the gardeners at Prabhupada's lotus feet. And for you, he's the main gardener because he has taken you to Prabhupada. Okay? I hope that satisfies your question.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. There is one question. Would you like to share any past time when you saw our Guru Maharaj in anxiety, tension, or anger?
Well, certain pastimes I better don't say. Well, one thing I can say. He was angry like anything when someone had hesitation or doubts in putting Srila Prabhupada at the center of the movement, the center of the devotees' lives. He was angry, and I was angry with him. Together, we were angry together. So, of course, angry by other things. No, he was such a mild devotee. I mean, he would rarely get angry, even someone had done something, to him. And, but if you had, some misgivings about Srila Prabhupada, or okay, he was also angry at people that try to, somehow or other, get on my case. Sometimes I saw him very angry. He was very affectionate to me. I can say that I'm not going to give into details, but he was mad. I said, "What is this guy done? Now just because he has a danda, he can't say this. How does he dare to? He was mad because someone had, sort of, attacked me for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't think he had any reason, but." So he was really mad. I said, "Maharaj, just calm down, And I was also mad at those who sort of attacked him. I also became mad at certain devotees that I can really get angry. I get angry more than he did, more than he could, and I'm probably a little more passionate in nature, but whatever. But otherwise, he was mild, and even something was not was not appropriate. He would not really get angry, and for himself, he was. I don't remember him getting so angry at anyone. No, for himself, or for Prabhupada, for the movement, He was very much valued. Once we went together, I don't want to say the name, right after Prabhupada had left, we went together to one of Prabhupada's godbrother at that time, right after Prabhupada left. It wasn't a problem, we're talking about 78 or something, 78. So this brother of Prabhupada, he said, "Oh, I've written such a good, commentary on the Bhagavad Gita. Can you translate my Gita?" Maharaj turned to me and said, "Let's get out of here. Let's go away from here." I said, "I'm never going to go back anymore, anytime." never. And we never went back. So, yeah, it's not that we were deep, so deeply, friend, we would walk hand by hand sometimes. The devotees think, oh, especially Western devotees, what these guys are up to, walking hand by hand. In India, you do it sometimes amongst brothers. You walk hand in hand, So it wasn't just because, I don't know, we liked each other or for some, whatever, external reason. We were deeply affectionate to each other because of our common love for Prabhupada, because of our attachment to Prabhupada. That's the thing. So again, that's the key for everything. You want Bhakti Charu Maharaj, glorify Srila Prabhupada on his behalf. Try to follow what he wanted, and you'll get Bhakti Charu Maharaj. You'll find him. You'll find him in your activities, in your service. You'll find him again. Okay. So.
Yes, there is few more questions.
Oh wow.
There is one devotee. He's asking, there is one devotee, Prabhuji. He is asking, can you please share some unforgettable moment you had with Srila Prabhupada?
My unforgettable moment? Okay, there is one when Prabhupada chastised me that I cannot forget. So I was in his room with, in the evening, I was living in Mayapur. Therefore, before the Mayapur festival, devotees would come sometimes. And okay, I'll tell you a couple of things. Some, GBC men, some sannyasis would come before the Mayapur festival, and Prabhupada in those times would give a darshan in the evening. So one time I was sitting in his room on the gadi, and I had a third canto with me. Prabhupada asked me, "What are you reading?" I said, "About the Kumaras going to the spiritual world, and getting checked like that." So Prabhupada got me to read, and I read for a while. Then I asked, but did the four Kumaras see Krishna face to face? And surprisingly, Srila Prabhupada said, no, Dhruva Maharaj saw Krishna face to face. I remember that was a little, wow. I said, wow, what an answer. So then after a while, I wanted to ask a question, Prabhupada. I felt, galvanized. I felt, charged because, wow, Prabhupada is telling me something really esoteric. Dhruva Maharaj saw Krishna face to face, the Kumara. So I asked him, and I started the question saying, Srila Prabhupada, we are under the protection of the divine energy. So he turned to me, looked straight in my eyes, and he said, no, Krishna is turning you his back. Krishna is taking care of you through the modes of nature. Wow. And he said it so almost violently, in such a determined way. I said, man, I felt, wow, I'm lost. Krishna is turning me, I won't, he's taking care of me through the modes of nature. And then I sort of, I was shocked a little bit. So I paused for some time, and then I said, I tried to be over intelligent a little bit, At that time, I was a young devotee. I think it was 75, yes. So I said, but Prabhupada, you are under the protection of the divine energy. Mahatmanastu mamparta davim prakriti mashrita. You are under the direction of the divine energy. And you always thinking of us, right? So we are also under the protection of the divine energy because you are under the protection of the divine energy. you're thinking of us, you're protecting us, so we're under the protection. And Prabhupada looked at me, and that's what I remember. He said, yes, I'm always thinking of you. But if you don't think of me, what is the use? So that moment really stayed within my heart. He said, yes, okay, you are also under the protection of the divine energy because I think of you. But if you don't think of me, what is the use? So that's a moment. And another time, that's a little funny. It's a little funny thing. Again, in one of those darshans, Srila Prabhupada had a jar of coconut balls, sugar coconut balls. You can have black one with gur, coconut gur ball, or you can have white one with mishri. They cook the coconut with the mishri. Okay, so Prabhupada had a glass jar with these coconut mishri balls. They were white, quite big, I would say. So devotees had come, some devotees had come from Australia, and there was this, the son of some devotee, a little, stout, one of those Australian kids, really, it was really stout, strongly bodied devotee, a child. So Prabhupada, would start giving a sweet to everyone, and before giving the darshan and preaching. And this boy would go, Prabhupada gave him a sweet bowl. The boy would go back to his mother, eat the bowl, and then go back to Prabhupada, go back to Prabhupada. Again with the hand like this. And Prabhupada gave him a second one. He went back. He was voracious. It must have been 2 or 3 years old, but was really big and voracious. So he had the second bowl, and then he went back to Prabhupada. At this time, Prabhupada gave him a flower. So he took the flower, he went back to his mother, but then he looked, it was a flower, he couldn't eat it. So he went back again to Prabhupada, asking for the bowl. So Prabhupada gave me the jar and said, you give, okay? You take care of this. Because, he wanted to preach, and this child was going all, back and forth from his mother. So he gave me the jar, and I gave a sweet bowl to the child. He went back. So then after some time, Prabhupada had been preaching for a while. He turned to me and he saw that that the child was there with a hand towards me. And he asked me, you haven't given? Said, he's still there, you haven't given? I said, no, Prabhupada, I gave him 8. He said, 8? 8 sweet balls he ate, and everyone started laughing, said, that's too much. That's too much. He's going to explode. Prabhupada said, he's going to. So, and he looked at me and said, be careful, be careful, probably ate them like 10 sweet balls. I was a brahmachari. I didn't know, and the mother hadn't said anything, but I almost probably killed that kid, the child by giving him so many sweet balls. So he also looked at me very heavily, said, don't, he's going to explode. He said, don't give him any more. So these are things, pastimes that I remember. But anyhow, don't get me going, otherwise I'll get, Let's get into service. Let's get into chanting, serving, and remembering. Okay, I think, I've annoyed you enough. So what do you want me to do?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. The devotees are actually relishing and a lot of questions are coming. If you allow, then we can take few questions.
Okay, just give me a couple more, because for me it's, okay, go ahead.
Okay, we can take this last question. This is from Radhacharan Prabhu. We heard His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj Guru Maharaj, we heard His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj told you that His Holiness Radhanath Swami should be GBC of Ujjain. Can you please give a reference?
Yes. Oh, how did you get that? I mentioned that in a GBC um, Zoom meeting, which is supposed to be confidential. So I don't know how it leaked out, but okay, I'll tell you the circumstances. You remember that Bhakti Charu Maharaj sometime earlier had some heart problem. You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, so he had some heart problem. So when he had that, he called me immediately, and I said, okay, should I, how serious is it? Because I'm taking an airplane, I'm taking a flight, I'm coming to see you immediately, wherever you are. And he said, no, I'm recovering. I'm recovering. He said, I'm getting better. So, so then I said, oh, I used to tell him, hey, don't get sick. Okay. I used to tell him that. Our relationship was like this. I could sort of shake him. Hey, stay well. Don't dare to get sick. There was a relationship. So I said, hey, don't, you should, you have to stay here with us. Don't, no bad surprises, okay? Stay. And then he told me, well, if I had to leave, well, I said, well, especially at Ujjain. At that time, I don't think there was Orlando or anything of that kind. I think it was earlier than that. So I said, he said, well, I said, you have such a beautiful project going on in Ujjain. He said, well, if I had to leave, Radhanath Maharaj could take care of the project. That's what he said to me. And, that was some time ago. I don't remember exactly when he had this heart problem, but it's quite a number of years earlier, right? You might remember better than I do, like 6, 7 years earlier, something like that. So it's something from the past, and what can I say? I'm a little, disturbed that someone leaked it out of the GBC conference, because now it sounds like, in his will, he has said, Radhanath Swami has to take care of Ujjain. It's not that. It's something that he had said years and years ago in a special circumstance, and it didn't leave it like my will is, my okay. So I hope it clarifies things.
Okay, thank you very much, Prabhuji. Most valuable association today. Devotees relished a lot. You narrated so many pastimes of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj, and give a lot of lessons. Like you told about regarding Guru Maharaj, like he was at his young age, he used to look like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and you told that how he came to Mayapur, and you engaged him in services, and how devotees were shocked when he came in another visit with his sannyas. And even after being a sannyasi, he was humble, friendly, and you told very nice point. He was just he was just like heart with two hands and two legs. And you told about he was busy, but still he used to time to share, to sit with the devotees and share with them. And you told that how once you got some health issues and he cooked for you for months, and how you used to enjoy cooking for each other. You told one past time how Maharaj told that he is the best cook, pizza maker in the world, because he has the best recipe, and you told that I am the best lasagna maker that, and Maharaj
Yeah.
accepted that. And you told about how the real way to develop relationship is through services. We should serve together to please Srila Prabhupada. That is the key to develop close relationship with each other. It's not on sentimental level. You told about that how to please Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. We all can together work for keeping Srila Prabhupada in the center for decades together, and we deepen our relationship by fulfilling the desire of Guru Maharaj, that is keeping Srila Prabhupada as a center. You told various pastime how he was angry, or he was anxious in anxiety, and you shared the unforgettable moments with Srila Prabhupada, that how he chastised you. So thank you very much for sharing so many wonderful things from the life of Guru Maharaj. And we beg for your blessings to empower all of us so that we can follow these teachings and can become a loyal servant of Srila Prabhupada and continue to serve in the mission of ISKCON throughout our life. We look you for your association at Ujjain. Last time you visited for GBC meeting
Yeah.
at Ujjain, and we all are eagerly waiting for your association here at Ujjain again. So
Yes, I will come. I will come. I had promised many times. Every time he used to tell me, I'm coming to you every year. And you never come to Ujjain. It was actually he even said, I'm calling you every other day, but you never call me. Now, every time he was keeping the accounts, how many times he called me. I said, okay, I'll call you every time you call me, I'll call you back. Okay, I had made this promise, and I also had made the promise to come to Ujjain. As soon as we can travel and this madness goes away, I'll definitely want to visit Ujjain and stay with you. That you are all part and parcels of Bhakti Charu Maharaj's heart. So for me to stay with you is like associating with him. So thank you very much for the patience. You're all been very nice to me. I want to go now because Maharaj, remembering Maharaj makes me emotional. When I made with his disciples here, the ES disciples here presentation after his disappearance, I almost couldn't speak. And that happened to me only when Prabhupada left. So Hare Krishna, he is special. He was special, and he is still special, and he will still be special forever for me. Okay, thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. His Grace
Jai.
Madhusevita Prabhu ki Jai.
Haribo, all glories to Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.